Hey guys, how's it going? So in this video, we're going to be covering the best funnel that you can use in 2024 for your info product, whether that's course, a mastermind program, anything of that sort. It can even be used for pretty much any form of business which has an online transaction or delivery, even a service. But I'm just going to be more focused on the info product side, as that's kind of where I've been working recently. So before we get into what all we want to cover, just a brief on why I can kind of give some insights on all of this. So I worked with agencies doing 80 to 100K before per month, and also worked with people on social media influencers having millions of followers above 2.5, 3 million followers, generated millions through social media, and kind of implemented these whole systems with them for their acquisition infrastructures, amongst many other things as well. But so yeah, that's pretty much kind of it on why I am giving you advice on all of these things. But without further ado, let's just kind of jump into what all we'll be covering in this video. So first, we'll be covering the basics of acquisition frameworks. What are the actual frameworks that go into the selling process, that go into the funnel, which kind of translate and expand into this funnel that we have over here. So that's the first thing we're going to be breaking down. Then we're just going to break down an example of a funnel, or like a very specific funnel that is working the best in 2024 for these specific use case scenarios that we just talked about. And we're going to be breaking down what it is, how you can apply it, and just an example of the same as well. So let's just get going with it. And right here. So first thing I want to kind of talk about is what is the basis of an acquisition that happens, right? An acquisition is just anybody who sees you online or sees something that you're posting online and then gets converted into whatever your offer is, whether that's a client, whether that's a customer for your course, whatever it is. But how that kind of happens is you're basically pretty much taking them from this red triangle, which is island A or their current situation, to this green triangle, which is their desired situation, and that's what we call island B. So the thing is, we want to have something which is a unique mechanism which takes them from this to this, right? So this is kind of the original solution that they might have for getting from here island A to here island B. And this is the unique solution that we have, which comes in over here to get them from here island A to here island B. So that's the solution that we have. We need to be clear on that first, is to when we're acquiring the people, what we're actually giving them, and then how is it different from what they already have that can solve their problem from going in going from current situation to their desired situation. So that's kind of what we want to figure out first, and just be clear on that, and that's just the basis of how everything later will work. But moving from that, we kind of translate that into the basic framework for client acquisition. This happens in literally any form of client acquisition if you look at it, and you probably already heard about it. So everything starts with attention generation, then we move on to education and nurture, building up that trust, and then converting the people into whatever offer you have. And this is the basic framework for any sort of client acquisition. And irrespective of your business, you're already doing it if you're currently acquiring clients, even with word of mouth referrals, ads, SEO, anything. We're going to be specifically talking about more of a content acquisition framework that can then scale up to running ads as well, with the funnel that we break down. But even with very old school things like word of mouth, this happens first, right? If somebody introduces you to someone, they're first generating that attention for you. That attention is one on one, but they're generating that attention with you. Then you're building out that trust through education and nurture, right? They already have part of the trust built because somebody introduced them to you, but you actually build them out by build out the trust further by educating them and nurturing them about the results that you've gotten, and partly this job's already done through the person who's referring you, and then you finally convert them. Usually the cycle is a lot smaller if it's a word of mouth, or if it's a referral, something like that. But in the online space, in the online business, these people are totally unknown. They can watch like hundreds of other videos as compared to your video. They can go to hundreds of different sources as compared to your source, and build trust through that and convert through that. So how do you kind of separate yourself and get in there in front of them and build that trust and convert them through this whole cycle? So what we want to figure out is basically what we're optimizing for with this whole system, with this whole funnel. A, it's volume, that we get in front of them frequently enough. We can show that we are consistent and reliable, and we can this funnel is profitable, that we don't waste either time or money to kind of not get an ROI on everything is what we're going to kind of focus on. So I'm going to be breaking down an example of a funnel, and then we're going to be going down to the specifics of the funnel that is working best. So an example is in the attention generation, we're just pretty much going to talk about these three main sources. So YouTube videos, short form content, paid ads. That's what's running best pretty much. Obviously it'll depend on your specific offer as well. If let's say your specific audience is much more prevalent on Twitter, then that will be a better attention generation source. But generally these three form a good trio which has like a balance, because short form content gets more people in. Within short form content also there's like various types which we have over here, but short form content gets people in. YouTube videos build that trust, build that authority up, and paid ads, once you know what's working, you can scale up the traffic that you get. Then middle of funnel over here, where we get to the education nurture stage, is basically us. The incentive for us is that we are collecting information over here. Like this is the incentive for us, but the incentive for the audience is this, the lead magnet. So the lead magnet can be of many forms, right? The lead magnet can be a short training video, it can be a PDF guide, it can be a newsletter, it can be an intro to a community, which is part of the funnel that I'm going to talk about. It's what's working best in my opinion, especially for info product owners, because community is a part of the product anyways in usual circumstances, and you're just getting people into the community, so you have so many more frequent touch points with them once you're actually getting them into your ecosystem. So you generate attention through that by making content that kind of resonates with your ICP, solves their pain points, and gets that in. And obviously you need consistency with this, and this other frameworks on which we have on the whole attention generation part. But right now, we're just going to cover the overall thesis of the funnel. So I think this is the route that is something that can work best for this sort of structure. Then they usually go into a CRM. Obviously, this will depend on your needs and how kind of advanced you are, but a CRM is always good to have because you can just track everything, you can tag their sources, you can see what's working, what's not working, and then you just basically convert them. You have these conversion mechanisms that are there. This is something that I also learned further from Matthew Larson. Just been watching a lot of his trainings. If you haven't checked it out, it's pretty useful. But how this can convert is you have the lead magnet itself. So the lead magnet itself can convert people as well, if it's close enough to the end goal or the desired outcome that the people might have, and if it's further enough down the actual sales funnel process or the marketing funnel process, then it can itself convert people. You have automated email sequences that run on the back of the people coming in, opting in over. That's where you want to collect the information. You have appointment setters and you have newsletters as well, which can kind of convert that. But with a community funnel, the advantage with that is that you have so many more touch points, which we'll get onto as well, because you have the community itself. And one of the funnels that we're using to actually get people in is using a many chat funnel. I don't know if you guys have heard about it, but it's basically the funnel which you would have seen on Instagram and a lot of these apps, where there's a short form video and they say comment so and so keyword to get this resource. With that, you even increase your touch points further, and the barriers to entry are the lowest. That's why it's pretty much one of the best funnels that are going out right now. Then you just kind of book a call if that's necessary for your offer, and you get a new client. That's the basis of the whole funnel framework, right? So you generate attention through that, you educate and nurture through that, and then you convert over there. Now we actually want to come into the specific funnel breakdown, right? So this has been accumulated through various sources, and this has variables that can change based on your use case. But this has been collated from various different people I've applied this for, people I've seen this funnel work well for, and then a combination of all of those things, right? So how this works is, this again is the attention generation part. So you do long form videos, short form videos, many chat funnel. So we're going to cover what the many chat funnel is briefly as well. But how that works is basically, the many chat funnel is that you make a piece of content, draw is going to be really bad, and then you mention them, you mention in the video for them, for the viewers to DM, for them to actually comment certain words, after which you'll DM them the resource, right? So this DM part is the most important, right? Because this is this DM sequence, right? So this can actually go into a whole sequence which adds another touch point with the least barrier to entry. Because if you think about it from the perspective of someone viewing the video, they're just viewing the video, right? And they see this valuable resource. Otherwise, they have to go to your profile, go to an opt-in page, add their email, stuff like that, and then get the lead magnet. Whereas now they just have to comment so and so keyword, and they'll get that resource. So from their perspective, it's a very low barrier to entry for them to just get the lead magnet for free, pretty much. So it's incentivized for them. For us, why is it incentivized? Because A, we can get a lot of people in. B, we don't really need to kind of do anything, because this whole ManyChat funnel I got from Julian Corzo, whose course I'm part of. But basically, they don't you don't need to do anything, because all of this is automated, right? So once they comment, you send them the lead magnet, that's automated. You have a whole follow-up sequence, that's automated. And you pretty much never actually have any manual intervention until you're assured that they're qualified, because you can set up the sequence in such a way that you have these follow-up questions which kind of pre-qualify those people. So only if they're qualified will you actually need to talk to them. So they have low barrier to entry. You've got a lot of people in who are qualified automatically through the automation sequence, and you have that first touch point with them. You just straight away have that first touch point with them in the DMs, where you can just qualify them and then actually try to convert them. So that's why this works as well, because this whole DM sequence is already going to help us a lot get people in straight away into either this or this or even this, right? So that's going to help us a lot as well. But we still obviously have all of the other things as well, because people might not directly convert. There's so many different touch points. That's the goal of the middle of funnel, right? Goal of middle of funnel is to have as many touch points open as possible with the leads, as well as collect as much information as possible to build that trust. So next step is for them to actually get the lead magnet. They can go into a type form opt-in. This can be anything. Type form, which is like a form service where you can just add information in, and then once they click submit, they will be linked to actually see the lead magnet. So this can be done on any sort of opt-in app. Then you just collect basic information, collect the name, phone number, and email, and this goes into GHL. GHL is Go High Level, which is the CRM that we've been using, and this goes into an automated email sequence once they've just opted in, which eventually converts them to the main thing, right? Now, what happens is the interesting part, right? Once they actually opt in and they want the lead magnet is actually hosted on Skool in the public view. So Skool is the app that Skool is the app that we use for the communities and all of that. So this is just the community I'm a part of. So over here, if you just come in here, let's just check this out, right? So this is the about page of the Skool community. And in some cases, what you can actually do is you can make the Skool community public, like at least parts of it. So how that will work is that the Skool community will just be like any other website that's on the internet, where you don't need to kind of join to see it, and you can still have courses that are locked. So what you would want is um, the lead magnet would be hosted on the Skool community in the public view, and there'd be a pinned message that gives them the access, so they can straight away go to the lead magnet just from the type form opt-in after they submit it, and get in the ecosystem of the community, right? So that's something that would really help in the sense of getting that extra touch point with them. So what we do is, in this model, what we do is we had like a free community, and then we had the paid courses on the back of it. So the community itself was free, but they actually had to join the community. For that, they had to add their information. But actually, magnet was free, and then there was a paid course. So what we did was we had a pinned message that gives them access on top to the lead magnet hosted in the Skool classroom. So the Skool classroom is the actual course section. So the core section is where the lead magnet is hosted, where we give them the access, and they view the lead magnet, and then in the lead magnet itself, we give them an introduction to the paid course. So just before that, plus in the text below that, we give them introduction to the paid course. Then we have another separate course which says start here, which is just like this is also open to the public, which just kind of gives them clarity on what all we have to offer. So this gives them an incentive to join the free community, wherein we label out, okay, these are the advantages that you have in the free community. This is what the members are doing, and we also give them the option to join the paid course and lay out the advantages of that. Then is the actual paid offer course VSL. So whatever the paid course is, that's added as another separate course over there, and it's just added in the school classroom, and then we just it's just a VSL for that. We just add whatever they get for that, and usually when they wanna actually purchase it, they'll go to that VSL itself to purchase it. And over here as well, so the pinned message that gives them the access. In the pinned message itself, below that, we give them an incentive to join the free community, and then we give them an incentive to join on introduction to the paid course. So as you can see, we have one, two, three, four different areas where we're kind of pointing them towards the paid course, and two different areas where we're pointing them towards the free community. The advantage with this is that the free community, they're much likely to join as well, even if they don't convert for the paid course straight away. They are quite likely to join the paid community, sorry, the free community, as long as they're somewhat qualified, because we've laid, as long as they're actually consuming this, because it's free and we're laying down the actual benefits of that. So in the lead magnet, just before the lead magnet, we show them a screen recording of what all is in the community, and the members that are interacting with it. So they can just be like, okay, that's something that I'm getting for free. Why not join it? So if they actually convert to the paid course, that's great. So they just straight away going from there to there, right? But if they don't convert, then they actually opt in for the free community. Within the opt-in for the free community, so when they actually want to join this, there's a form which has further questions, right, which has much more detailed questions, because right now they've built out their trust. The barriers to entry are much lower because they have that trust, so they can take the time to fill that stuff out. So this will be specific to the offer that we're selling. So let's say if it's a gym, if it's somebody who wants to grow on social media, as an example. So the questions will be based on that, so that we can qualify them for this as well as higher ticket offers. So they opt in for the community. We collect their information, current revenue, goals, business, whatever it is, based on our offer. We update the GHL CRM to make it sure that they've joined the community. We add them to an updated email sequence, and as soon as they join the community, the appointment setter that we placed messages them. So there's an automated message that goes on over to initiate the conversation, and then the appointment setter takes on from that, and he'll just qualify them and see if they're a good fit. So once the member joins in the community, again, the automated message goes, which is one form of qualification. Then there's community posts which are there, and if they interact below it, and if there's some posts that we make to filter out people, that's another qualification process. And then on the weekly calls, because in this free community we have weekly calls, that is another way to actually qualify people and just convert them. So as long as they're qualified and they can afford the actual program, then usually the conversion is pretty easy, because the free community has a lot of value, and if they're engaging with it, they trust that if they can afford it and they receive the value in it, they will convert. So that's pretty much it. Now, this was obviously a specific funnel that we made for someone. So when they actually become members for the paid course, we send them to a separate community or Discord or WhatsApp channel, where they can actually discuss certain specific things which the free community doesn't get. And let's say if you have higher ticket offers as well, right? At this point, you've collected so much information within this 3 to 4 week period, through firstly the lead opt-in, then them consuming all of this, so you know that they are aligned with all of that, then the GHL opt-in, then the messaging that goes on with appointment setters, the weekly calls, the community posts. Probably by this call you would have gotten them into something which is paid, but even if you don't, or even if you do, you what you value more is the lots of information that you've collected throughout this process. So through all of this, the community calls, private channel discussion, the appointment set, engagement. You come in, you check in with their progress. You be like, okay, are you getting the results you wanted to with this whole course, with this whole program? And you kind of point the conversation towards an upsell if you have it, right? So for example, if there's a course and you have an upsell of a one-on-one program with them, then you can just do that progress check, and you can qualify them if they can actually afford a higher ticket one-on-one, and then upsell to higher ticket offers. Like that's going to be really, really easy, because if they've gone through all of this, obviously this is a funnel, right? So not as many people who are going to be going to be here are going to be here, but it's just a numbers game. If you're getting the right amount of traffic through this, if you're getting the right number of people in the DM sequence, then and they're qualified, then you'll get the reflected ratio of people in these areas as well. And once you have these areas, people in these areas, then you're actually getting them. You're paying for it. They're paying for it, so you can reinvest in ads as well to actually generate the attention. But once they're actually in, this is where you can actually make a lot more ROI as well, because if they're 3 to 4 weeks in, even if there's 6, 7 people that are in there, that are that in depth and that are that into the whole program, you can just check in with their progress. You can get an appointment set to engage with them. You can qualify them, move them towards a discovery call wherein you can figure out the solutions to their problems and then upsell them to higher ticket offers, whether that's a one-on-one, whether that's like an inner circle, whatever it is, right? So that's something that can really work well for you. So that's pretty much the whole funnel. Again, thesis of it goes back to attention generation, education and nurture, building up that trust and conversion. So this would be attention generation, this would be education and nurture. This would be kind of a hybrid between education and nurture, because you're giving them value through the community and you're also converting them through the points that are in the conversation that you have. And this is just you getting the sale in and getting a lot of inflow of people into your business. So that's pretty much the whole video. If you would want these funnel breakdowns, then you can just check the description or comment and then I can send them to you. And if you want to apply all of this to your business straight away with the whole system, in which we kind of get the attention part sorted, build out the whole funnel, get the acquisition, get all the systems for the analytics, reporting, tracking, everything, so that you can just focus on your business and your growth, and we just get everything in from the marketing and acquisition perspective, then you can book a call with us and we can take it from there and see if you're a good fit and see if you can make something work. Thanks, guys.